Are we good?
Yeah, I think we're good this time, guys.
Okay, so it turns out that Chance, who is now standing slightly off
you
frame
just,
over
you
here,
just come on over here.
he actually on the Twitch stream machine,
You just come on over here.
he opened an instance of Twitch
On Internet Explorer.
on Internet Explorer. So
Very
none of us
interesting
were
browser
looking at
choice,
it.
by the way.
Yeah, great browser choice. Bye, Chance. Thanks,
But,
man.
oh yeah, runaway quiet.
So hopefully you guys are no longer going to hear it.
Yeah, all right, let's start this thing again. Hi, everybody. Welcome to the Unreal Engine Trading Stream. I'm Alexander Paschall. This is Ian Shadden. We're going to talk AI at you. It's going to be great.
Alrighty, guys. So,
thank you, Clint. You are
Clint.
awesome.
Thanks, everybody.
Thank you, everybody. It was
there
Internet
was like
Explorer.
5 people in here, and it was Internet Explorer. Go figure.
Yay.
Okay, so
It's okay. We have plenty of time today. There's no stream coming on after this one. We're gonna do our whole thing. It's just gonna be a little bit later than usual. Sorry, everyone. Thank you so much for sticking there with us. All right. Let's actually do the thing.
Okay, so re-intro. What we're going to be covering in this series of Twitch streams is how to make game-ready AI from start to finish. I mean, literally start to finish. I've created 3 blueprints to start, and we've imported the Infinity Blade assets. And so we're just going to kind of go from there, and we're going to be building kind of a god game.
Yep.
It'll start out much more basic than that, like think kind of like Sims with control, where you can click on them and be like, you're hungry, go make sure that you can eat kind of things. And then finally, giving them wants, desires, jobs, and then maybe they start selecting those things on their own and multiplying and so forth and creating small little towns where, I don't know, Alexander likes, having people with like crime happening. So it's like thieves steal food and money from people and then cops beat them down. And then people go around their day.
Yeah, my test beds are mostly a village of friendly and innocent lumberjacks and hunters and then thieves and guards. Yeah. So it's a lot of fun.
So let's go ahead and let's kick in. I mean, this will go as advanced as we can make it. I mean, I can't say that I am dedicated for the next 5 learning streams because I'm not sure exactly how many we're doing. However, I do have it up on the board every 2 weeks. This will be going on, so not next Tuesday, but the Tuesday after, for the next 10 weeks.
Yeah.
So just before Christmas break kind of deal. And then if we're still not done, we'll pick it up again after the fact.
Yeah, we might it's basically going to be, let's make a base and then build off of that several different classes. We'll kind of get into that.
So it'll be pretty intense. So I'm going to jump into the editor.
Let's do this.
Live.
We can tell it's live.
It's
Saturday night.
All right. So new third-person project. No big deal. I have
It's a top-down, not a third person.
No, you created third person.
Oh, I missed.
You can tell because there's this thing.
You're right.
That thing.
Right.
So no big deal because it doesn't
works.
matter. All of this is eventually going to go away. We just need places for them to move around so that we can tell that they're navving correctly and so forth. So like I said, I have 3 blueprints created. Done nothing to them. I've named one of them AIS game mode. One of them is the player controller. The other one is our player pawn, not character. We've created a pawn. Mainly because I don't want to have to deal with our dude using nav mesh to get around. I want him to be able to move through everything.
You know what? Just to be safe, because you said nav mesh and it triggered a little flag in my head.
Oh yeah, you want to?
Did you put a nav mesh volume in there? Because it's a third person project, as you said. No.
Nope, there's
See,
no
that would have got us. We would have been like,
Well,
here. And why is he not
move?
moving? Okay,
right, so nav mesh bounds volume.
This is actually one of the most common Answer Hub questions I get is, why won't my basic AI move? And the answer I normally give is, can you tell me if you put a volume in there? And it's mostly oops. Yeah,
that's okay.
Yeah, it's an oversight, but it's no biggie. Just everyone remember, nav mesh bounds volume.
Or we could use nav invokers, but unfortunately,
let's not
world
get into
is
that
far
one
too
this time.
small.
Yeah, that's much better for open world stuff.
So we'll go ahead and just make sure that they can move everywhere. Maybe a little bit higher. Doesn't look like it's clipping the top. There we go. Now it's clipping the top of that little thing right there. All right, I'm going to hit P, turn that off. So let's start with the player. Let's start with the controller. Now, I have cheated a little bit because I kind of wanted this to move in a specific way, so I had to go pre-build this. Can we do paste bin for people who want to follow along?
Paste bin?
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, you can
It's-
literally copy and paste all
it's
your
f-
blueprints.
It's 4.9. Well, I'm not going to be able to paste it in the chat.
Oh, well,
'cause,
no,
as you can see, this
bin.
email over here. Thankfully, nobody can see the other screen.
Oh my gosh.
It's only 50 pages of text.
Wow, you did cheat.
Yeah. Well, I didn't want to spend the first whole day, because that's about how long it took me to.
I just put together all.
Really,
your
you clipped my message. That's
There you go. Just hit Control A.
no, Control A doesn't work because there are actually 2 blueprints in here.
Oh my gosh.
All
All right, so for those of you who are confused by what must be happening here, Ian is attempting to copy and paste a large chunk of blueprint nodes out of text that he just kind of, because you can copy your blueprint nodes and then paste them into a text document, and it will keep it will keep it all in text format, and then you can copy and paste that text right back into a blueprint and reuse it. So that's actually really neat. So we're just kind of cheating and grabbing some stuff out of an email.
And that's why I asked if we could paste bin it, because then
Bam! Look at that. Whoa!
and then I could just send this all to anybody who wants to follow along.
You know what? I think this would live properly on the forums. We can give it a paste bin, YouTube link to it.
Well, how long does the forums?
Oh, the forums let you post. Yeah.
Like a mountain of text.
Yeah, we can post a mountain of text, and then we
Okay.
can have it kind of shortened, and they can just
Then maybe I'll forward this on to you. Here, let me just do that. Real
And there's
quick.
also blueprintue.com we can use, which is pretty cool. There's a few websites that people like to use for this.
Yeah, I'm gonna forward this on to Alexander.
All right, cool.
Alex.
Yes.
Not Alax.
Can't
Yeah,
spell my name.
If you can post both of those up. And so let's talk about what I've done here.
Let's dive in.
Well, actually, 2 things. We need to create a bunch of variables here, because these don't exist yet. And create a variable, and I believe I have a player storage variable. There we go. Create variable, stored pawn. And okay, so our stored pawn doesn't exist yet, and it's currently just an object. We'll get to that. So let's briefly talk about what I got going on here. So it's player movement for our pawn. So we're taking our input, move forward, input, move right. We're getting our control rotation, getting our forward and right vectors, which will be normalized vectors. So if we're facing down one axis, it'll be forward is 0, 1, 0, or actually 0, 0, 1. No, wait, Z up? Yeah. No. Yeah, Z up.
Z's up.
Z up. So it'll be 0, 1, 0, and then to the side will be 1, 0, 0. So we just take those and, oh, forgot movement right. And we are then multiplying those. Well, we're adding them together so that we get our actual kind of the direction we want to go multiplied into our movement rate. And then I'm taking out the Z component. And I have no idea what this thing is. So we'll make that go away. Create I promoted. No big deal. And then we're just adding local offset to the pawn that we're about to go create as well. And then I have a couple of arrows that I built onto that will be building onto the pawn that will show us the difference between our control rotation and our actual pawn rotation. And then down here is simple setup for left and right mouse interactions. So basically on left mouse or right mouse clicked, we're opening a gate through tick that allows tick through. And then there's a whole bunch of spammy stuff that goes on for timers that then tell me whether or not I've left click and held like this, or if I've simply clicked, which I have just simply arbitrarily chosen a delay that I've worked pretty well in the past of 0.18 seconds. It's actually probably a pretty long click, all things considering, but it makes things a little bit easier in the long run. And all of those are just calculated off of delta time from event tick. For right-click hold, however, we are actually rotating the camera which will be targeting the spring arm that will be on our pawn, which will then, of course, have the camera at the end of it.
Mm-hmm.
And we're setting that world rotation on pitch and yaw, while at the same time only rotating our controller around yaw. If we were to modify the pitch on this, and we're inheriting our direction that we wish to go based off of the controller's rotation, if we were to take that with us, if we could look straight down, we would not be able to move forward. We'd be able to move left and right, and then as you dip down, you'd be able to move forward faster and faster and faster and faster. So I kind of just negated that out. So that way we know which way our controller's facing, we know which way our pawn's facing, we can move the camera around that. We have left click events and right click events, and we actually have a left click and hold event for, a radial menu pops to mind. It sounds like a really good idea. And then for right click, I kind of always deselect like in an RTS, right? Like just click and the dude's gone.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so that's going to be our player controller. I'm not going to compile this just yet because it's going to fail, because it's going to be like, where's all the stuff you wanted me to work with?
So hate to interrupt you, but the dudes in chat are a little bit worried that there's no default value for your movement.
Oh, yeah. Oh, this is all, you also notice that our stored pawn is an object.
Oh.
And a bunch of other stuff.
See, guys, he's aware.
Yeah,
Come
I'm
on.
aware.
He's
All this
is
messed up. Both of these need to be true.
Super pro.
But if I
Super
set
pro.
these,
He knows what he's doing.
I need to compile, and it's going to fail at compiling because all of our pawn stuff isn't quite set up yet. So let's go ahead and get that set up, and then we can come back and fix those. So I'm going to go ahead and add a camera, and a spring arm, and an arrow, and an arrow. And this one's going to be, come on, controller arrow. And this one's going to be pawn arrow. Camera's going to be parented to the spring arm. And we're going to take our controller arrow. We're going to move it up a bit. Take them both together. Move them. Oh, no. I forgot control. And then we'll make this one a blue, I guess. And we'll make it just slightly smaller, like 0.95 or, no, that's not 0.8. There we go. So that way, when we're looking at it, we can kind of see the difference. And then these are all connected, but we don't want our camera to totally clip through the ground because it'll just clip through. So, well, actually, if it was down here, like our camera would just simply hug the pawn until we rotated it up and out. So we'll just kind of bring it up a bit, and we'll set kind of a default pitch to let you know that you're kind of looking down. Okay, so that's all those set up. We can compile this, save this, go to its event graph, and I have another much smaller blueprint. I mean, in comparison, it's kind of ridiculously small as far as the text is concerned. And we'll begin object, down.
And this is yet another text block that we will be putting on the forums for you. I'll just probably put it as like a downloadable .txt file or something really simple.
So pawns have a fun node called event possessed, which is really awesome. And so whenever our dude is possessed, what we're going to have it do is AIS player controller, change variable type, thank you. And this doesn't exist yet, so I'm going to disconnect this real quick, and we'll recreate that here in a second. And so new controller, cast to AIS player controller, and we're going to store that here locally. Compile. Okay, everything's kosher here. And now that we have the player pawn, we can come back over here and we can correct all these. So I can come back here to stored pawn and be AIS player pawn and change variable type, and it's going to break everything. No big deal.
You get that weird index error there.
Yeah, don't worry about the indexed error. It's just like I can't find everything.
So whiny.
And which one is this? This is controller arrow. So we'll come back in here and we got controller. Fine, arrow. get controller arrow, plug that in. All right. And now I don't think I do anything else with the, oh, wait, here we go. Here we go. Yeah, that's right. Forgot the spring arm. Spring arm. Get spring arm.
Mm-hmm.
Control click.
I like that. Control, click, and drag.
Yep, control click and drag that over. So now our spring arm is set up, and do we do anything else with those? I do not believe so. Compile, successfully done. Save that, come back over here. So on our stored controller, we want to set stored pawn as our self. There we go.
All right.
So I think we hit all of those that we now have ability to compile. Now we just need to come in here and we'll set, I believe we want to, we want to set these to true. True. And then variable 0. We don't like you, new variable 0. Go away. Movement rate, I believe, was 10. 25 is really snappy. We're not, there's no magic with acceleration here or anything. This stuff is he's going to be rather zippy. Compile, save. Okay, that should be done there. Now we need to go into our game mode. And over here on the properties for classes, our default pawn class, be player pawn, controller class, AIS player controller. Nothing else really matters. Compile, save. And then, I know I'm tearing around here because this is the part.
Explain the things.
This is the part that everybody's just like, come on, this isn't about AI. Come on, bro. So we'll go into our project settings, maps and modes, and instead of third-person game mode, we'll go to AIS game mode. And I'm sure I've missed a ton of things. And Alexander, though, isn't calling out that anybody's like, well, you missed the things.
They caught you on the movement thing, but that's the default. We got it.
So we have a player spawn point. So cross your fingers.
Yeah.
Well, something is there.
We need a mesh or something we can see.
Well, the player controller is working. Left mouse held, and then right mouse. Oh, I know something that I didn't do, which is actually really, really important for me to do.
Make the arrows visible?
Actually, we need to be able to click things, right?
Collision.
Well, no, I wasn't even thinking collision yet. We're not even that far.
Oh, I'm getting too ahead of myself.
We need mouse enable click events, mouse over events, and touch. Well, I guess we technically don't need touch, but we'll enable them just in case.
But don't we need touch?
I don't know what to say to that. You just behave, you. All right. So compile, save, and do not. You know what? Just index. Go away. Thank you. All right. Let's double check. Left mouse, right mouse. I think I know why WASD aren't working, but let's check. These might no longer share the same what do you call them? GUIDs. So they might not be calling correctly. So event received to copy. I'm not sure how I feel about that.
Ooh.
We don't need those.
Yeah.
And then
input access move right.
Move right. What really disturbed me is that it didn't actually show up at all. But that could have been just because we were clipping through the player spawn position. Compile, save, play, debug. Okay, so we got that. Tick is hammering away.
Mm-hmm.
Gonna move this over briefly to the other screen.
Yep.
Right click and hold is working. And then monitor this value. Okay, we are in fact getting. Oh,
stored pawn got Hey, drag it over so they can see what you did. No. Show them your thing. Look at that. Look at that, everybody.
I wonder why we're
Look
not
at that. Who are we telling to move?
moving?
Gotta have a target.
So let's double check. Well, the spring arm is working just fine. Oh, and the arrows aren't displaying because
They're set to do not show.
they're set to hidden in game.
Yep.
So nah, there's always something. Compile, save.
Look at that. Everybody's learning together.
There we go.
Yeah, now all the things work nice.
Yep.
Yeah.
So there we go. We have our controller, which allows us to right-click and hold, move the mouse around. We have left and right-click events. We have a left-click hold event. And so and our pawn, though.
Yeah, he doesn't
he
quite
doesn't-
go up.
And he never will.
Yep.
He, she, it never will.
The thing.
Yeah, and also I think 0.18 seconds is actually a really long time. As you can see, like I'm moving the mouse and about halfway across the screen it actually kicks in. So, but we can go ahead and tweak those. Maybe it should be more like 0.06.
Sure.
I mean,
That's a number.
I mean, Thank you for that. Yes, I'm glad we have come up with numbers.
That's a float value if I've ever heard one.
That's well, that's
Yeah, let's go-
0.033 should be, what 1/60th of a frame, or is it at 30? Hold on. I'm sure.
Oh, we got to crack out the Windows calculator.
Yeah, I gotta. So what is it?
Really
It's
pro.
1 divided by 30 at 30 frames per second.
Let me go get it.
Okay, so that's
Oh.
yeah. So let's give ourselves the time frame of 2 frames. So we'll do 0.66, and that might need to get bumped, but we never know. We'll just play with it. I just would like a little bit snappier control in the camera because we're probably using that more.
Mm-hmm.
Compile, save, and we could make those. So move, click, click. Ooh, yeah, that's probably too short, but
It's better to be a little bit have it be a little sensitive and
yeah,
we can
we'll come
dial
back
it back later.
Okay,
Yeah, let's
so
get to the actual AI.
We have get to the AI.
Come
goddammit.
on.
All right. So, and we're done here. That's all we're going over today. No,
You know,
you asshole. Oh, damn it. They're gonna have to cut that out.
I have to cut out that whole section.
Oh
can't
well.
This
Sorry,
is,
guys.
This is why
My
we can't
bad.
have nice things.
This is why Ian's not
This is
allowed
why
on
we can't have
streams.
nice things.
All right. So we need.
We had a whole discussion about things you can't say.
Yep.
Then he goes and says
And
them.
I wasn't in that meeting. So in our AI stream, we'll actually create our AI folder. And anybody who's sat through any of these knows that we need a ton of assets. We're going to need, well, that's something we need to go change. We'll need to go enable EQS.
Yep.
We're going to need a blackboard. And we'll call this
we'll do EQS a little later.
AIS Blackboard. And we're going to need our behavior tree, because we're going to love using these. AIS behavior, I'll just call it BT. And then we're going to need to, is that all actually, yeah, I've created everything else, haven't I? I mean, because we have the controller. No, that's right, we need our
AI controller.
AI controller.
Mm-hmm.
Because I keep forgetting I just created a player controller.
Yes.
AI controller.
Yes.
Come on.
Yeah, it's important to have one of those if you want to have AI, so that you can feed your
What?
your actual behavior
Madness.
tree and all that into your
AIS,
pawn.
AI con. And then we're going to
There
go
we
ahead
go.
with another blueprint. We'll make this one. Yeah, I won't take the shortcut. It should shortcut, but we're not going to take the shortcut.
Yeah, it's just take a shortcut. It's fine.
AIS character. And then, because we need to do it, editor preferences, experimental, and environment querying system needs to be enabled.
Yep.
Because we're gonna use this one a lot.
Still experimental, but pretty useful.
Still works
Yeah,
just
it
fine
works,
as far as
yeah,
I'm
it works
concerned.
fine enough for what we need to do.
Yep.
So
Okay, so we have our controller and our character. The controller is the easiest to set up at the moment because all we need to do, and I need to bring this over on the other screen, is on event begin play, run behavior tree for the time being, and we'll have it actually AISBT, compile, save.
Yep.
And then for our behavior tree, let's crack that. Nope. Nope. You stay. No. See? No. That was just wrong. Make sure that this is actually using the blackboard that we desire. Swap in between. Okay. So that's working. And then our character will be the bigger setup here. So we need a mesh. Thankfully, we have a ton of character meshes. We're going to go ahead and slap in. What do we have? Ice demo blowing flags. No, we need the mannequin. So we'll drop in Manny.
His name is Tim Plate.
What?
Seriously.
Tin plate?
No, Tim Plate.
Tim.
You didn't know? No one told you it's Tim Plate?
So corny.
Really? Manny's better? Manny
Yeah.
the mannequin?
Well, actually, yeah, Manny Quinn. Yeah, exactly. We're terrible at naming things. So we'll move him down. He's in there. We'll use an animation blueprint. He should have one. Third person AnimBP. Yep, there we go. Now he's hunkered down. We're not going to have mini animations to play with from the start, but that's okay. Part of the fun of prototyping these is actually using Persona to create some one-offs. Okay, so that's done. Is he facing? No, he's facing the wrong way. There we go. Rotated on 90. Compile, save that. Character movement component. We can go ahead and mess around with some values real quick, but most of them should be fine. I just don't like how fast these guys start. So where's my walk speed? Walk 600. I'm going to drop that down to 400. And walk speed while crouched to 200. It just makes them a little more manageable when they're all running around the screen. Compile, save. Error component's fine. Character movement component, that's fine, fine, fine. Now our class defaults. Or is it not the class defaults? No, it should be, yeah, class defaults. Where is it at? This seems really short. AI. Oh, well, no, there it is. AI controller. AIS AI con. Auto possess AI placed in world. What are our options over there? I can barely read that from here. Placed in world or spawned. This will never be controlled by a player, so don't. Compile, save, and then just to make sure that auto possess is off by default. Good. Okay, we're no longer auto possessing. Save. And now our completely awesome AI dude can be dropped in the world and he will do absolutely nothing. So there's that. I mean, if we hit play, he'll just kind of stand there because nothing's going on. The behavior tree doesn't even have a node for us to do anything with. So let's go ahead and do something that at least shows execution is in place. Do a sequence. And we'll do a task. And we'll say move to. And then, do we have a task for a random move to? Choose random location? We don't, do we?
No, I always made my own.
Yep.
I normally just run EQS query, and then I have an EQS that chooses like random locations around you. But that's probably not very performant.
You can't anymore. The random
Oh, no.
test is gone.
I never actually used the random test. I just set up a lot of really strange parameters. That's how I would do it. Another good way to do it is you can make your own task.
Let's make our own task.
And the task is probably going to be a lot simpler, where we just say, hey, get the pawn's location, get a random point within radius, which is a great node,
it's
by the way.
easier than that.
Really?
Yep.
Look at you. You're going to show me up.
We're going to do receive execute AI, I believe is what we're going to be looking for. See, we already have our pawn position and our controller position. So whenever this fires off, we're going to be able to say, you're absolutely right, get random, forget E, point in navigation radius.
Ooh, yeah.
And then our origin
You're just going to use the controlled pawn's location.
Get location.
Yep. And then
we can, come on now, work with me fingers. Our radius, we'll just
3,000.
$3 grand? You want 3?
Yeah,
Alright.
Trust me, I've done it at 1,000, and it's like, that looks a little funny. He just kind of takes 2 steps here and there.
Also, we could have fun with filter classes. I figured those out like last week or something. And then we will well, we need to pass this back to the blackboard, but unfortunately we don't have anything to store on the blackboard yet. So we're going to go back to our blackboard and be like, well, we need a thing. And of course, blackboard's not up here right yet because it's there. So we're going to need a new key. We're going to need a vector. And we're going to call it move. We're going to be very creative. Move to location. See? It's super creative. Save. Behavior tree. This will auto swap to move to location since we now have one. 50 or so.
Yeah, you want to have an acceptable radius that's more than 0. Otherwise, it's just never going to quite get there.
Well, they do. It's just they kind of fail out in weird ways.
Yeah.
Well, it also depends on if you have any motion controlled through acceleration, deceleration, or montage. Root
Okay.
motion.
I believe you.
Well, because if you do the... Never mind. Okay. That doesn't matter. And we're going to need a variable, and we're going to need, we'll call it move to key. And we're going to turn this into a key, blackboard key selector. Get set as vector. And we're going to pop that in there. And we're going to connect that up. And we're going to say execute. And we'll finish execute. And I'm sure Mieszko would hate me for what I'm about to do, but I have a, it's a debug thing that I do. So I add another key, and I call it, like, force success. Because you never know when you're going to want to get as bool. You're never going to know when you want to actually force something to succeed or fail based off of whether or not it is a in a selector or if it's in a sequence. You might want to have this fail in a selectors just so it goes to the next one so we can keep reusing this. But if you were to constantly have it succeed, you wouldn't be able to do that. You'd have to layer it. But by having another key that we can get as a bool, which we'll just simply call force success right now. Actually, we don't need a key. I'm being silly. This just needs to be a bool.
Yeah, that's exposed.
Brain, come on, brain, catch up.
Exposed bool. I was about to say that could just be an exposed bool, right?
Exposed bool.
Yep.
And then
Don't expose your bulls.
I heard
Clink giggle.
Clink giggled, but don't encourage him. Don't encourage him. We don't need dav data plugin. We don't need a no controller. Filter class isn't really necessary right now, but we can define whether or not he can and cannot go to certain locations. Save that. Back in the behavior tree. Pull off tasks. And what do we? Oh, we didn't call it anything.
It's just called BT task.
We need to go rename this.
Yeah, probably.
Thankfully, you know what? It's really nice because it puts it right here. We'll call it random move to. Actually, we'll call it choose random location. There we go. Control S. Choose a random I keep on hitting that E. Am I English? Random location on the nav mesh. There we go. For success, make it true. And we didn't expose our key. Did somebody catch that in chat?
No, I didn't even catch it. You're right. You gotta expose.
Guys,
you
come
have
on.
to expose your keys so they will appear on the task itself. So you can actually directly show them. Now, if you look in the upper right there, it says there's your move to key. You have the little drop down, and then you can just do that move to location.
Which could be any key in my blackboard now.
Yes.
So we could run this 5 times in a row and have 5 different locations, and each one of them get a different random location.
And as long as we're feeding a vector into a vector variable in your blackboard, you're perfectly fine. So that can just go anywhere.
Yep. And then we're moving to. So, okay, so we should be running it. Yep, we're running it. And our character should be running have our AI controller. There it is. So this should just kind of work. So if we hit play, yep, there he goes. Bye, dude. And he's just gonna wander around. No big deal. That's great. Like this lets us know a bare minimum, our behavior tree is being run. Our character can move. He's got animation. He's moving on the nav mesh, and yeah, he's even going up and down stairs and whatever.
You know what though? He jumps immediately when he turns. Why don't we check that checkbox and make that
You wanna
fix right?
you wanna
do the yaw thing.
Yeah,
Yeah,
do
you know
the
which
yaw-
one I'm
yeah.
talking about.
You mean all 5 of the 3 or 4 of the checkboxes
There's-
that make this work?
There's one checkbox. So
Really?
yeah, it should just be the there you go. Use controller rotation yaw.
Yeah,
Right.
that's on.
Okay. Should it be?
So well, okay, that's one thing. And then on the character movement component,
yes.
we have turn rate.
Yep.
And by the way, we should probably turn this
Turn
down.
the max acceleration on your turn rate down to like
Yeah,
120
I'm gonna
is
take it to
fine.
120. That's actually really slow. And then our rotation rate, our yaw is set to 360. That is per second, or no, per frame. I can't remember, but you take it really low. And this is, I believe, we orient rotation to movement. No, it should be doing the controller right now, which is another checkbox somewhere. Which is why this kind of gets a little frustrating because there's another checkbox somewhere. Oh, I'm going very slow, and I'm still snapping to location. So let's go ahead and bring back the character and go to the character movement component. Let's try turning on orient
rotation
movement
Yes.
pile.
Sorry, I would have
And
been
also-
more in there, but I was talking to people in chat. But yeah, that's totally what needs to happen. Looks
And
like
then
you got.
let's take this up to 600.
Yeah, he'll probably spin pretty quick, but that should still at least look a little better.
Nope, still
Nope.
snapping. Like I said, there are a bunch of checkboxes for this. We don't get away with just 1 or 2 of these. So there's the character, which is use controller rotation, yaw. Wait. I think I want to do that and not I just did this for Bullet Train.
That awkward moment. It's like I just did this for a really important thing. Come on.
And then AIS controller.
Mm-hmm.
No, it's not on here, is it?
No, it's back in the character.
Yeah, I think it's all in the character.
Yeah.
And then, so we're using the yaw
Mhm. Go back to the movement component.
movement component.
Mm-hmm.
Now, if we turn off orient, it doesn't seem to do anything. Wait. Use controller desired rotation, maybe. Maybe
You
that's
scare
it. Yeah. No, this is why this is.
Oh, look.
I think he
better.
did it.
I think he did it. It's kind of hard to tell from that. Oh,
No. Damn you, little dude. Stop that.
it's really strange
Yeah.
because that should just be the yaw.
Like I said, it took me a very long time in Bullet Train to figure this one out.
That's weird.
Because it's not just these. Crest move, use acceleration, can walk. Where was this? No, none of those.
If it's not if we can't seem to remember what it is.
And I don't think, because it's like these two are separated, right? Orient rotation to movement and use controller desired rotation is actually different than its actual rotation. Like,
So probably not that one.
no, because the
Orient
desired
rotation to movement.
let's try turning that
5.
one on.
Yeah, that's really funny.
I'd really like you to turn very slowly, but you are not going to do that for me, are you?
Change his rotation rate back down.
Its rotation rate's 5.
His rotation. No, the other one.
What other one?
Go back in. So there was another
His yaw rate.
character movement.
Yeah, character movement. Unless somebody sees it. That's what we like, hanging out with you guys. Yeah, no, our yaw is only 5.
Yaw is 5, and then the max acceleration. Oh, that was what it was. I thought the yaw was 600. I was looking at max acceleration.
No. Our yaw is only 6 or 5. Pardon. I can take that even lower, but this is why this one's frustrating. I mean, we can always come back to it.
Yeah, we'll have to come back.
Wait, do we have bullet train on here?
Oh, it's somewhere.
I could just load it.
Nah.
Okay.
I actually have an explanation of how to do this somewhere else. I'll go find it.
Okay. Well, while you go look that up, we'll let's see. Let's start doing interesting things. So our idea was to create a god game, and so we need people to rule over. So this will be our dude that we can rule over, and he will need to have basic needs, and he will want to do things because people, on average, want to be useful and feel better when they're actually working. So, working in quotes, like doing something they love. So we should have hunger and
Stamina,
happiness
or
or stamina,
Yeah.
whatever, right? Health.
Uncheck use controller rotation yaw.
Uncheck that.
I had a feeling
Oh,
that was a little off.
yeah,
but
that's under controller, isn't it?
No, it's under the
No.
character. It's right there. Right? Or
No,
I
it's
thought it was.
under the character.
the actual character.
Okay, turn that off. Is that it?
Well, there's a couple other things, but just and then either orient
Yep.
movement to movement. Orient rotation to movement. We have to have something on that tells it to rotate.
What?
Right now it was just following the controller, which is why it was snapping. Now we need to
Well, that's working.
oh, your yaw speed is still 5, so you're not rotating fast enough. Make that
think?
like 160 or 200 maybe.
Yeah, sure, we'll do 160.
See, if I just go and look up my own.
Yep, there he
stuff.
goes. He's
I had to
working.
just look up the stuff because I knew it.
Yep.
And I knew I had done it in the past.
Yep.
Just had to go look it up.
So he's got a pretty bad animation set right now, but we can fix that later. We'll give him one with strafing so that at least if he's turning around all the way, he'll start to take a step backwards and then move into a strafe and then move into
Yeah.
running forward.
Yeah, we can still
Okay.
do that.
So we're going to need a ton of variables, and we're probably going to need more in the long run. Now now we can get into a philosophical debate of where do we put these. We can store them on the blackboard,
Mhm.
which is one thing. But that's not the best. I mean, we get free instances of that, but we get free instances of them on the character as well. The blackboard does have a delay if we want to have sort of an access outside from, let's just say, game mode or from the god, right? Like,
Yeah.
whereas the character we have immediate access to. We can do a bunch of timer stuff in the character to like tick down things, or we can do a service. Now, services are nice because then we can control that over time,
That's true.
whereas the timer ones, we have to keep going back in there and kind of messing around with them. So honestly, it kind of doesn't matter where this goes, but health, I think, is the one weird outlier. It goes on the character.
Yeah, I think that health, one way or the other, we're gonna have to. So let's just go ahead and do that one since it's pretty much straightforward. Let's just
Yeah.
let's throw health into the character. I'm really liking those transitions. They're cool. Like,
Yes. Yeah, oh, is that
Is
the
it
Star Wars ones?
Ooh.
Do you have the angled swipe one? Yeah, maybe. All right.
We
All
need
right.
to do one where we pan up into the stars, and then it's us sitting there in the stars.
In like a Death Star?
Yeah. It's just
Why not? All
you
right,
can do it,
so
Clint. I believe in you.
let's close some of this. We're not going to need the controller for a little bit. We don't need the game mode. We don't need our player pawn. We don't need our player controller. So on our character, we're definitely going to need a variable for health. I'm a big fan of floats, so we'll just do a float in this case.
Yeah.
Could be an integer. Doesn't really matter. Well, I mean, yeah, it does. If there's like a million of these, you can start talking about like memory footprints and things like that. And then we need to do, what is it? On hit. Just so that we have something available. Let's see, let's break hit result. Is this really what I want, or is it damage? Because we do have a concept of damage. Yeah, that's what I wanted. Event any damage.
Mm-hmm.
Not hit. Event any damage. Damage. Get our health.
Yep.
And minus float. Any damage coming in. And then set. Actually, I guess it really doesn't.
You gotta
Well,
set, you
I'll
gotta
s-
set your health as the new health, which is minusing the.
Well, I was gonna. Yes, I don't have to. I was going to decide whether or not this value was below 0 and then just kill him before resetting it. But then I thought about, oh, what if we have health bars? And like he
Ooh.
keels over, then he'll just have like this sliver of health left because we never set it because it'd go. Yeah.
I don't. You will worry about it later.
Yeah, so no, this is the right way, in quotes, the right way to set up this. And then we do a branch. And we say if this health is less than or equal to 0, then we're going to have some kind of death state. What that looks like right now, I don't know. So we're just going to go for a good old-fashioned, well, damn, we don't have access to our controller, do we? Get controller. And then we're going to say unpossess. And then we're going to destroy actor self. This will free up our controller. Something I would like to do through this series is, so in Bullet Train, we just spawn dudes and they get a new controller. And you have to end up then spawning the controller. I would like to see if we could find a system that does better for this. And when we spawn a dude, if there's a free controller, we reset the controller on the blackboard,
Mm-hmm.
and then we repossess him with everything reset. That way, we're not sitting there wasting cycles spawning a whole nother controller. I'd also like to pool the guys. I guess we'd call it pooling. Excuse me. So if we had 50 guys pooled, spawned, ready to rock, and they're just sitting there drooling without a controller, and then when we call spawn, we don't actually spawn one. I mean,
Mhm.
it's a custom spawn event that we just bring a dude up from below and put him onto the map. I think that'd probably be best. So I don't know. We'll get there. I mean, because spawning, you guys want to talk about performance? Spawning is expensive, especially it's just spawning is expensive. Okay, so we're killing ourselves after we take enough health damage. And you're probably wondering, Ian, why are you so focused on health? Well, I plan on having these guys starve to death pretty soon. So
You're such a benevolent
I
lord.
am such
First
a
thing
good
first,
ruler.
how can we hurt them?
Yeah, first things first.
Gonna make them suffer when you
I'm
build an
such-
AI.
I'm such a
The AI of the future are gonna watch this and be like, "Wow, wow, really?
wow, really, guy? That's so racist.
Yeah, totally."
Jeez. All right, and so we're gonna want to store. Again, we get into the whole philosophical debate. Where do we store our hunger, our stamina, and things like that? If we're going to be working with it a lot, it seems to make sense to mostly do it on the blackboard just because it's easier to pull out of here. No, you know what? I'm not going to do it. I'm good. I may regret this later, but we're going to put hunger. Actually, what's the inverse of hunger? Satiation?
Fullness?
Fullness?
I don't know if that's a word.
That's
Is that a word?
I want a value that we fill. I don't want to run into the whole
Not Hungary.
the Fallout New Vegas thing for water,
What was
where
it?
it's like something that gave you plus or negative H2O.
Oh,
You
yeah.
know, it's like, but you had a full H2O bar. Yeah, it was really weird. It was backwards. Okay, your stamina idea is probably best. And
Yeah,
call
let's
it-
just go with
We'll call it
stamina.
stamina. And from stamina, will compile. Stamina is going to start off at 100, And then what we're going to do is on event begin play, timer, and we're going to do set timer by event. By the way, if you guys aren't using these things are so much fun. It's like being able to set your own tick rate without actually having to change the tick rate. Call it looping, and then every, I don't know, actually, we'll do this. We're going to promote this. Or we're going to promote a variable, and we're going to call this stem tick rate. Okay. And compile, I'm going to set that to 0.5 seconds. I did say 0.5. Okay, 0.5. And now we need a new event, right? So custom event, and we'll call it tick down stam. And this little red box, these little red boxes, I know a lot of people are like, delegates, hooray, and things along those lines.
Mm-hmm.
Boom. We plug that in. Now what'll happen is on begin play, this timer is going to be set up to desire this event, and every 0.5 seconds looping, it will fire off tick down stem. So we haven't even gauged tick for our character yet, So that's pretty awesome. And what we're going to do then is get this, and then we're going to minus some amount from it. So float minus float. We could do, I like the timer thing because then what you can do is you can do time minus times multiplied by an amount. So if we change our rate, right, we can end up with the same kind of function over time.
Mm-hmm.
So let's end up with a, we'll call it stem down per tick. That'll be nice and easy.
Stem down per tick.
Stem down per tick.
That's a word.
Or we could just call it, right, so if we were to just make this and times it by time, that would be 1 second. So half a second would have it. Yeah, no, we just need to do stem down. Or stem decay rate.
Yeah, well, you could call it whatever. It's just a name.
Yeah, well, I want to... No. Naming these things matters.
I guess.
Well, you guess, but somebody's going to come back through these and be like, what the hell was he thinking?
Okay.
And if we make it a rate, so our tick rate, of course, how often it happens. And then if we make it a rate as a decay, then they can be, oh, okay, whatever number I put in here, we're going to multiply by our actual tick rate. So that really, we can adjust our performance if we like the rate at which everything decays. This is a minor example. We're not doing this all that often. Even if there's like 100 of these guys on the field, we're doing some very, very simple float math here. So it's not crazy. But if you're looking for things to trim or to put into C++ and whatever, like some of this stuff starts making a lot of sense. So float by float. Pop that in there. So now we have that. And so every half second, let's just call it, well, we need something quick. We'll do 5. That way, we're going to start murdering these dudes pretty quickly. And then from here, we do 2 things. I'm going to print what our set what our current stem is. So we're gonna get a constant spew of this as our guy's running around. And then we need a branch. 2 things need to occur. 1, stamina. Get. If this is less than or equal to 0, true, then we're going to want to 1, set this to 0. I don't want negative stamina just in case. It's like, oh man, I have to go eat 50 apples to recover from the fact that I have a lot of health or something like that, right?
You know we have clamps also we could use.
Yeah. Good.
Okay. Clamps maybe.
Yeah,
We can give him the clamps later. We'll give him the clamps later.
Whatever. Right? This is the same basic idea. And then we're going to do damage to ourselves.
Mm.
So, do damage. Or we'll just call it damage. Apply damage. So, our actor, self. Stop hurting yourself. The instigator, technically is self. Or pardon, cause, or damage causer is ourself. Base damage in this case, what, he has 100 health?
Yeah, so like
10.
10. Yeah, so you get hit a few times. That's what I
Yeah,
was
why
saying.
not? And so what should happen is like if this is false, we're just not going to do anything. We don't care. We're going to constantly print this out. And then actually what we should do is this. Minus the loop around. Nope, break that.
Don't need that. Cool.
And now, and then down here, well, yeah, sure, why not? Because we don't have any fancy effects or anything going on yet. We'll just have them go, ow. Star, star, star. Ow, exclamation mark, star, star, star. Okay, compile, save. Uh-oh. His life is slowly draining away.
No.
Oh, it's terrible. Actually, half a second tick rate is... On the one hand, it's fast. On the other hand, it's kind of slow, you know?
It just depends on what you're testing.
Yeah, exactly.
If I was playing a game and my guy was like deteriorating this fast, I'd be like, nope, done.
Nope. Forget you. Ow. Oh.
Ow.
Oh, no. What did we do? Did we not set our health? We didn't set our health, did we? Yep, nope. We should probably give ourselves 100 health. And let's change our tick rate. So tick down, tick rate 2. Wait, that doesn't even matter. I forgot, I set it up so that it doesn't matter. 0.5. In this case, what matters is the decay rate. So we'll take this to 20, I'll just take it to 20. Because if we change our time, it's not going to matter. It's just going to take longer to get there, which could be nice.
Mm-hmm.
Because then you have a gap in between when those things are occurring, and maybe you aren't starving to death. Maybe you found that apple in time. All right. Here we go. Ow, 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 ow. It hurts. Why am I oh, I'm dead.
Oh, okay.
All right. Okay, so he will starve to death. Great. Or terrible?
It depends on what you need. But you know what? It works for what we needed.
We'll take the damage down. So we'll take it down to 1. And maybe... Yeah. Hey, you said you wanted to do clamps, right?
Yeah, you're going to clamp some stuff?
Yeah.
I like clamps.
We'll heal him.
Oh.
So
You will need clamps to make sure you don't heal him over his max health.
Yep. So if our stamina is, hey, we're okay, but we need to boost our health while we still have stamina to do so. So we're gonna say, nope, get health, get, and then health. We're going to be setting, but we're gonna want to add this to some. No, not a vector. Anybody else get really frustrated by that?
You know you're doing that all on the wrong screen, right?
Oh.
Hey everybody, welcome to Religious Livestream. We do everything on this screen.
I only have 2 screens here, and I have like 5 at home. Sorry. It's hard to keep track of everything.
Like I said, this is why we can't have nice things.
This is why we can't have nice things. Okay, so we're going to clamp our float, and our max is going to be... Well, okay, let's are they laughing at me? They're all going to laugh at you. Max health. And... Hey, yeah, no, that's what I wanted. There we go. Max health, compile. I'm going to hard set this to 100 for right now. Really, probably on spawn, set health to max health max health being an exposed variable or one that pulls something from somewhere else first. And then we'll set max health. And then minimum, yeah, it's 0, but just in case this, for whatever reason, gets fired, we'll set it to -1. And plug that in. And we'll call a heal rate. So we need a heal rate. And our heal rate will be, I don't know, we'll call it 5. Okay. So there we go. Our health plus our heal rate, clamping it to 100. So when we're over stamina, we should heal up, and that'll be great for us, because now we need to have him hunt. We need food, but there's no food. So I guess we're gonna need
Generic food actor.
we're gonna need a generic food actor.
Yep.
No, wait a minute.
Oh no.
Yeah, okay, we'll just do food. That's fine.
Got
I'm
really
sorry.
tense for a minute.
I'm sorry.
there.
I was thinking about it. Like, what if we don't want it to be technically food? It's stamina, and the stamina drains, and like Red Bull is not really food, right? But no, that's a point. So I'm gonna go. Yeah, we'll just do AI stream. New folder. I'm gonna call this base classes, because just about everything we put in here, I guess the AI would be in here too, but just about everything we're going to put in here, we're going to probably inherit into something else. So we're going to have a base food item that then inherits into an apple and a pear and a turkey, and warrior needs food badly. We need a new blueprint class that is just an actor, so no big deal, and we'll call it base food class. Now our base food class, moving it back onto the main screen.
Before we forget.
Before I forget, we're going to need a couple things. We're going to need a mesh. Actually, we're going to need a root. No, we don't need to do that anymore. Just static mesh.
You were going to add a root component, weren't you?
I was, because that's what I do.
Yeah, because you and I have that
We're
back in the beta mentality. We've
yeah.
been doing this for so long. It's like, yeah, you need this and this. And wait, no,
now I need to
fixed
go.
that now.
Now it did the static mesh down there. Now I need to go add a root.
Yeah.
Okay, and we're going to need an appropriate mesh for it. Now we've added in some of the stuff from, what was the game? Infinity Blade.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've got the Infinity Blade. I think this is the Plains pack or something.
Yeah, the Plains pack, but I have no idea.
So this is free.
Yeah, it's free, so you guys don't have to worry about not having access to it.
You're going to find like a cool I know they don't have an apple in there, so we have to find something kind of cool to represent the
So let's just
snacky item.
Static meshes.
Oh, sweet. Now see we have a whole library full.
Yeah, move that off so that I can see my view options. And we can bring this up so we can actually see what we're looking at. Okay, we got some barrels.
There's a cart.
There's a cart.
Some days I'm so hungry I could eat a cart.
There's hay. Yeah.
That's food for some things.
Tasty.
There are some random plants.
Okay, random plants. Let's store this one in the
Alright,
scene
you like that
real
one?
quick.
Just in case.
Yeah, just so we have access to. No, I don't like those plants.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, little grassy things. Stone. Let's have them eat rocks.
This isn't black and white. Wait a minute.
Wait a minute.
Wait a minute. That was like my favorite thing in black and white. It's like, eat that villager. No, eat that rock.
Oh, I feel so bad. A barrel might work, because I mean, currently it's just a stamina producing item. He could be a dwarf.
Yeah.
He's after booze.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, we'll use the barrel.
Yeah, it's all
Because
about Joe
why
Kreiner.
not?
That's actually what this is about.
Well, this
Joe Kreiner's game. Got to collect all the ale.
That sounds terrible.
I'd play that. It's just about growing beards and drinking ale.
Okay, so we have our kind of default mesh for our food item, in quotes. And now we need to make sure this stays nice and generic. Okay, so he'll be able to get close enough to it.
And that has collision, right? So if we run into it.
Yeah, but I'd hate overlap, but we could smack it, I suppose, as long as he taps it with his collision. I mean, I think it has collision. Let's double check, Because if it doesn't have collision, none of that's going to work anyway. It has collision. We're good. Just in case anybody's wondering. All right. So, no, I don't wish to save changes to that. Okay, so it has collision, so we can run directly into it. It just means that move 2 has to be set to 0.
Mm-hmm.
And then now which way do we interface this?
I mean, we're just going to do like a simple cast, right?
Do we hit it?
Yeah, we can just do like or we can just put a sphere around it and then do overlap on the sphere. So you have to just get close enough.
And then whatever overlaps me.
Yeah, when overlap, destroy me and give health to him through cast. Yeah, I think we can do it that way. Let's do it that way.
We'll do it that way.
That's how I do a lot of my stuff. Well, I use blueprint interfaces instead of casting, but yeah, basic same concept.
Apparently, they also cost them the same.
Yeah, we did that Nick Whiting stream where he explained casting versus blueprint interfaces versus event dispatchers. Event dispatchers are the heaviest, but casting and blueprint interfaces are pretty similar in weight.
Yes, because if I remember correctly, you have to cast internally. You cast to even use an interface.
Yeah.
It still has to cast to the thing to know that it has the interface, because you can have it on a child class. So whatever. All right, so we got our barrel. It's got a collision sphere.
Yep.
And so event graph, and then we'll do.
There it is up top. Add event for sphere.
Oh.
You do that little drop down.
Yep.
And then it's going to be collision.
Do we want? Yeah, we'll do collision.
Yes, and then add component begin overlap. Very
Okay.
top one. There you go. See, I know my stuff. Kinda.
Okay, yeah, and then it has other actor. Sweet. So
Other actor, and that'll be cast 2.
We'll do a cast 2 AIS character.
Yep. So we're casting to the AI guy, so we can tell him, hey, let's get your health or stamina in this case, right?
Yeah, we're gonna set stam.
Yep.
And
There you go.
really, okay. Well,
We have to do a get and then.
No.
Well, you're gonna have to add, aren't you?
No. Oh.
Yeah, you're adding,
clever.
not setting the whole thing.
Good point.
Yeah.
Get stam. I was thinking that the barrel just like, oh, you're healed. Right?
Yeah, I kind of like the.
But then I
incremental
started thinking about it. I was like,
heals.
no, yeah, you need to add it to something.
Mm-hmm.
And float plus float. What a variable. We'll call it stam restore.
Wait, are you setting up a variable for that value?
Yeah.
Do we need one?
Yeah.
You can just plug in a number right there, though.
Yeah, but I don't want to just plug in a
Okay.
number. I want to have it
Alright.
exposed.
Do it the way you want.
Whatever,
not your real
whatever.
dad.
I do what I want.
Yeah, I'm not your dad.
Jeez, Dad. Yeah, no, I want a stam restore, and I want that exposed.
Yep.
So that when we place these in the world,
I was promised a clamp. There should be a clamp after that ad, so you can't go over your max health. Because we don't want to go over your max health.
Well, it's max stam. What's our
or
max
stamina. Sorry, I'm saying stamina.
We need to get our max stam. So we need to set that. So.
See, you're getting called out in chat for not having your clamps. See that? See that?
You guys calling me out for no clamps.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's great. That just means we need to go back into our dude here, and we need another variable, and we need max stam. We'll just move that up to here. Compile that, and we'll say 100, because I believe that's what we decided
Yeah, I
stam
think
was
that's
as.
what yeah. So
Compile.
default starting stamina is 100, and then
Yep.
100 is the max.
Stam.
And so later on, you can be like, oh, I got a heart health upgrade, and now my max stamina upgrade, whatever.
Whatever. Max stam health. Yeah,
yeah.
It could be a heart upgrade or a stomach upgrade or whatever.
Or feet. I don't even know what stamina would be.
What do you use to represent stamina?
I don't know. Normally, I think of like running, maybe like feet. I don't know. That'd be kind of
Muscles?
weird. Like collecting feet.
Of my enemies. That's what the thieves steal. They steal your feet.
Feet thieves.
Okay, so we have our max stam, our stamina, our stam restore. Our stam restore amount is currently nothing. This will do him nothing. So let's do, what do you say, 25? And compile, we'll save that. Oh, and on overlap, of course.
You got to destroy.
We gotta
Otherwise, he's just going to
destroy.
be like constantly.
He's just going to be like, look.
Yeah, and I mean, this is the point where you like play the particle effect where it pops or do whatever, and then yeah, destroy.
Yep, destroy actor self. And okay, so that'll work. Compile, save. And let's get rid of this one, get rid of that one. Go into our base classes, static mesh off. Bring in a barrel.
Nice.
And since we're going to be doing EQS on this,
Just bring a few in so we can get some triangulation.
he will eventually starve to death, but
Yeah.
that is by no fault mine.
Yeah, this is why it's important to set up something that distributes more of these resources in your
Yep.
world game. So I have apple trees that throw off apples in my test bed.
Right?
Yep.
Yep. We will have beer trees that throw off beers.
Oh,
I
my
know, right?
dreams, they all come true. Can I plant one in my backyard?
Okay, so if he's running around randomly, he might actually hit one of these, but not good enough. We want him to get to a point where he desires them. So I'm going to do this through a service. Because why not? I mean, we could do a... another timer event or something that calls up to the behavior tree. But since the behavior tree is controlling where we're moving, I want to make sure that the behavior tree is aware of where our hunger is at, how much stamina we have left. So right on this sequence, I'm going to create a new service. So I'm just going to bloop, new service. Let's rename this one right off the bat. And we'll call this one Stam Check. Should really, these icons need to, we'll call it service underscore.
Yeah,
I'm just thinking about that.
Yeah, because
we'll
that's going to be confusing when you have a whole ton of stuff and
test.
one's a task and one's a service.
Yeah,
and-
normally
yeah.
organize these by folders based off the AI, but
I don't feel like getting that much into folder management today.
I like those buttons. And override, we're going to need a function for receive ticket AI. And we're going to get our pawn. So we're going to be casting to this guy. We're already getting heavy into casting.
Eventually, we'll probably turn some of that into
Yeah,
interfaces.
We'll interface it and make it more universal across the board. So that way, I mean, I guess we could... No, we can't, can we? Because
Ian is currently in his brain. Give him 1 second.
you can't use
And he's
Blackboard keys to get anything other than object or actor. It always returns object or actor. You can't get a specific class out of them, which is kind of a weird oversight. And then, okay, well, whatever. And then we'll get stam. Get our current stamina. And then we'll make a choice at this point. Branch. Is this less than or equal to some amount? That amount being promote.
Mm-hmm.
And we're going to call our new float. We'll just call it hungry. Or, no, warning level, I don't know. Damn
is
low
starving? I don't know.
level. There we go.
Oh, yeah.
And then we'll expose that. That way we can just edit it from the outside. And then we are going to need some more Blackboard keys. And we're going to need a key. We'll call this find food key. And this will be exposed, and this will be a key. Blackboard key selector. We're going to get. We're going to get as bool. Pardon. We're going to set as bool. Keep forgetting that. And the service. So if it's less than, we're going to set it to true. Oh, what am I doing? You guys want to see a really cool trick? Bloop. And bloop. Get rid of that. Done. And then this doesn't need an execute successful or anything because this is going to be a service. So whenever this executes, cast it to character, get our stamina, compare it to our stam low level. If it is less than or equal to that, it sets our find food key to true. If it's not, it sets it to false. which we will need something when we collide with the food to probably reset that.
Yeah.
Or else he's going to grab a food, then go immediately for another food, and then not be hungry, which I guess is reasonably realistic. I go for 2 foods instead of 1 food. I mean, I'm human. I do it.
Sometimes get a little need to eat a little extra.
Eat a little extra food.
You see the cheeseburger, and then it's like, yeah, but there's also these sweet potato fries, and it's a lot, but you're like, whatever, I'll eat it too.
Yep. So we're going to go ahead and get a selector sequence. It's going to plug in there. So I'm going to randomly roam, and then we're going to need a decorator for the blackboard for the key we're about to create.
Mm-hmm.
And then we need to add our service here.
Yep.
Stam check service.
Yep.
And we can set our stam low level 25. And then on our blackboard, we need a new key. We need a new bool. And we need to call it, we'll just call it, what stam low?
Is tired or whatever?
B is tired. Sure.
There you go.
Why not? And then B is tired. And then this will be boop, 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 loop. Blackboard. B is tired. Is not set, I believe. And then we have a sequence over here, which will be an EQS and a move to. And we could do it based off the same location, but we might want to generalize what we're going after. So we're going to add a key for an actor and call it desired object. This will not be an object. It will be, well, it will be an object, but it's going to be a key type of base class actor. That way we can actually get it as an actor from within tasks and services and whatnot. Okay. So that's being done, that's being done, that's being done. Behavior tree set, we're saving that. B is not set. Now the trick with this will be we're going to need to invert this over here. Because here's the trick. I really want this to abort. Like, oh man, I'm hungry. I'm out. So I want it to abort self.
Mm-hmm.
So if this is flipped, then it just, boom, it flips and it drops out to here. But when we hit move 2, it's going to come over here. So I'm just going to control C, control V that, and we're going to change this one to is set. And why not? We'll abort that one out too. So for whatever reason, he does go for round 2. He's not going to be able to complete going for round 2 because the service will take it back over. And we'll take our interval to, I don't know, 0.25 with no random deviation. So 4 times a second, we're going to be like, oh man, I'm so hungry.
That's such a great feature of services is you can set the tick interval instead of having to be literally every frame.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we're moving, we're finding, but now we actually need to find something. So we don't have a template yet. Let's make one. And we'll go into AI stream, AI environment query. We'll call it find food. And with find food made, highlight that. Double click.
All right.
We're into EQS.
All right. Now we're talking.
So this one's kind of easy. We just need to get all actors of class. Our class type will not be actor because then we're also going to be getting ourselves. But we have a food or base food class. There we go.
Okay. So to explain what's happening here, since if you're not familiar with EQS, can you bring that back over?
No, I was just
going to explain what you're doing here because we did it kind of quick. So a generator, basically, it's going to retrieve a certain thing for you. In this case, actors of a class is what we're deciding on. You can also do vectors and etc. But we want the food actor, and we want to send it back to the pawn so he knows where things are. Now, the generator is going to go through a series of filters, essentially, deciding this but not this, this is too far away, this cannot be navigated to, and then we end up with the best results.
Mm-hmm.
So And that's EQS in a nutshell.
3,000 will be our search radius,
Mm-hmm.
and our center will be ourselves, the querier that's being called.
Yeah.
Now the querier, actually you can call EQS from blueprints, which is really kind of cool. It's kind of complicated, but it's really cool. And so the querier in that case can actually be anything,
Mm-hmm.
which is kind of funny because it's like, run EQS query from blueprint. The querier is, that dude over there,
Yeah.
instead of me because
Yeah.
reasons. Anyway, so this would automatically return a food item. We would get a food item out of this.
Yep.
Because we're asking for the single best return, so this would return a food item. But we're hungry. We need to at least add a distance test.
Yep. We want to get the closest possible one.
Yes, I'm
first.
going to score only.
Mm-hmm.
Now, I don't know what this is doing.
Yeah. Well,
mean,
you put a tester in there and show them what it does.
Yeah, and so let's. The great thing is we can do blueprint and we can do EQS. EQS will only show testing. By the way, if you're looking for anything else, I believe you do ENV and you find the environment query stuff, so ENVQ. But for the pawn, we need EQS. Creates a testing pawn. And I'm really creative here at testing pawn. We're not going to do anything to it other than create it, put it in the world, and then we are going to give it our query template. Environment query. Well, I just created a new one, cancel. We need to find food. All right. These are kind of hard to see. I can't scale these up, can I? Yeah, I'll pass that on as something that'd be nice to have. All right. So our querier, in this case, is this thing.
Mm-hmm.
And so as I move it closer to that thing, we can see that actually the number there is dropping.
Yeah, you gotta.
Well,
you
we're
gotta
backwards.
You gotta switch it around because right now we're saying we want the farthest item, and actually we want the nearest
Yep.
item.
So 2 ways we can do that. Easiest way, inverse linear.
Yeah.
You
So now things that are closer
can-
are higher rated.
You can get really interesting results by using linear -1.
Let's not though, because interesting is another word for not always what you want.
It is always what I want, sir.
Okay.
It is always what I want. But you're right. We'll just do normal and inverse linear. Save that. And so now we have a nearest food. I like to shuffle these guys around just to make sure. That looks good. You think we're missing anything? I think I set the behavior tree. I set the EQS to find food. Move to location. Yep, there we go. Hold on. We need to set this to desired object and desired object. And that way it will go through, fire those. Yep. And if this returns successful, it'll abort out. So, well, the selector here will, of course, abort and restart. And if this hasn't fired yet, that's okay. Because this will refire and our move to desired object will be overridden by our move to location. Okay, well, let's see what happens. So he's ticking down. Oh, nope, he wants something. Oh, he got it. Unfortunately, we're not giving him enough.
Oh no.
He's dying too quickly.
Someone save that man.
Help, I need a donut. I need a donut so bad. Okay, wait, got some. Okay. Oh, jeez. Oh, man. And we're out of food. You are now...
Yeah, and now
he's jammed. He has consigned himself to his fate to die horribly, starving to death. Because the lack of beer, unfortunately, is not there for him.
Yep. Now we have to give him something to do if there's nothing around, like search. You know.
Yep. But what time is it?
4:03. But you know we
That's
started.
kind of a good pause point.
Yeah. If you want to pause right here, I think that this would probably be a good place we can pick up again and say, hey.
Because I mean, we have an error. We need to fix it. But if we really fix it, we're going to be here for like another hour.
Yeah. I know what it would require to actually get him thinking properly, and that's a little bit more work.
Yeah, so I think this is a really, really good pause point.
Yep. All right, guys.
So, again, well, we didn't get started that late. We've been on for about an hour and a half, haven't we?
Yeah, actually, that ended up being proper amount of time
That's
for
pretty good.
connection. Yeah, pretty good.
Now, were there any questions that you saw that we didn't answer that...
Yeah, but they were mostly along the lines of, can you make it blow up? And a couple of other things that
Why do you want to... Hey, I get to decide how my underlings die. And food exploding will not be one of those ways. Now, the barrels exploding later. Absolutely, this will happen. I was moving gunpowder. Whoops.
Yep. Besides that, people want to know about your procedural room and some other stuff. But I think we covered it, except for
really?
things that I'm going to hold off until another stream to get really into, because people are asking some like really in-depth stuff, and that's going to require us a good amount of time to actually
Do we get a log
cover
of this?
that.
Are you logging?
Yeah,
Okay.
I got a log.
Okay. Cool.
It's all good.
All right. Well, then we'll
Yeah.
we'll actually get your answers then.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I will not be on next week. Maybe, as far as I know, we're not on next week, next Tuesday. But we will be on the Tuesday after, which is, if we come down here to our magical calendar, which will be the 3rd
of
November
November.
3rd. So, well, thanks guys for hanging out with us, and thank you so much for your patience earlier.
Sorry about the technical difficulties. Thanks, Internet Explorer and Chance.
And
And
thank you, Chance.
and yeah, we'll see you guys on Thursday. For anyone who was in the game jam, we're gonna try to get all the raffling done and all the stuff done this Thursday. And Aller's gonna be here. He's actually on a plane right now. We're probably gonna have to pick him up in a couple hours, so it's gonna be exciting stuff. So we'll see you guys around. Thanks for tuning in, and again, sorry about the weird stuff. See you guys around.
Bye guys.